grab your tea and turn up the volume because class is now in session. Call in at 936-2626 because your voice matters. Share your opinion on issues that matter the most to you.
Sandra all the time is here with a cold heart truth. She's the ears and the eyes for me and you. Every day, everyone want to hear from Sandra. And every time on the air, she's getting better. Tell your sister, tell your brother, tell your mama, call Sandra in the morning and in the evening. They always calling Sandra. And when they start fighting, they calling Sandra. And
That's right, folks. Everyone is telling their mama about the cold hard truth. Welcome to another episode with more truth-telling, more problem-solving, and of course, more tea spilling than ever before. Sit back, students, grab your tea and turn up the volume because class is now in session. Call in at 936-2626 because your voice matters. Share your opinion on issues that matter the most to you. Good morning, K-Man. Happy Wednesday. It's Hump Day Wednesday. How are you guys doing? Hope everybody is well. We're going to get this show on the road here. We're just waiting on Blake and Aaron to pop on and join us at KISS 106.1. And then we are going to talk about a number of things going on in the community. Worldwide, regional, local news. It's all happening right here in the Cold Hard Truth. Everybody doing good this beautiful Wednesday morning? Let's do our morning greetings here in just a second. And I'm going to go ahead and start up the Instagram feed as well. Let me see here now. Honey Jill. So make sure some of you have community events. You can send it to our community calendar that is on our website. So any NPO, nonprofit organizations, even your churches, go ahead and send through your events, Honey Jill. We will certainly post it up for you so that the word can spread about your NPO. Now, if you have another event that you'd like to, it's a paid event that you'd like to have added to the community calendar, that's no problem. You just have to pay a small nominal fee. It's only $25, not much, Honey Jill, but it helps to sustain the calendar and all the other aspects of the community page. So go and check it out. You can contact the community page and message us if you'd like some more information on that. So there you have it. We are going to send out messages now to, let me just grab this phone properly, to my WhatsApp people. And then let me see here. Then we're going to get started. Where's Blake this morning? I don't see him. Okay. I think he knows that once we get started on a topic, that's it. We're going to move on, Honey Chill. Going to move it on. Yes, good morning. Hey, Rocket J, official. How you doing, Honey Chill? Good morning to you. See some people logging on to IG. We have the usual suspects on YouTube and Facebook. Shaka Zulu is here. Good morning, Shaka. Says good morning, Auntie Sandy and the CMR fam. Yes, good morning, good morning. Diamond Princess says happy Wednesday, everyone. Have a safe and blessed day. And remember to show some love. Why not? Why not? Let me see here. Buenos dias. Señora Alba, she says, buenos dias, Sandy, ¿cómo estás? Estoy muy bien, gracias. Estoy bien. So somebody's saying Um, mm, oh, someone is still trying to guess um who I had to chuckle this morning. Someone is still trying to guess who we were talking about, this person who reached out about, oh, we were talking about them and they had a talk show. I'm like, listen, y'all, sometimes y'all are just all up in your feelings for zero reasons. Like, I don't even understand why. Truth of the matter is, we weren't talking about that person at all. They're really in their head. But anywho, this person is guessing. They're trying to guess who it is. And funny enough, they are not guessing the right person right now. And no, I don't know anything about her running for political office. Hello, Blake. Where are you at? Late this morning.
Good morning.
Hello, Blakey. What's going on?
How are you doing, Sandy?
I'm good. I'm good. Happy Wednesday. Hump Day Wednesday.
Yeah, exactly.
And Connolly is present in class this morning. She's got her hands up. I'm
What's
here.
up, Annie?
Yes, she is here. Marshall joining us from North Carolina.
Marshall.
Yep. Miss Pat. Good morning. Good morning. She says good morning to the CMR fam.
What's up, Pat?
I know. Stephanie Brooks in the house. We got to say good morning to everybody. Olivia, Alejandro, Leroy, Robert Ebanks. Good morning, Robert. Love the photo, by the way. Beautiful landscape of the Cayman Islands. Irvelyn here. Irvelyn, you got to ease up on those AI photos, man. You're confusing me. They're so good. So she keeps, the Facebook app that allows you to do these AI photos. Irvelyn keeps doing those. And now they're pairing her with other people. So they've given her a new husband, a baby. Oh my gosh, the baby one was so cute. But Irvelyn, people are going to think that you have a whole new life if you keep it up.
Shall we do some news?
Yes. Waiting on you, Michelle. Oh, yeah. Let's get it.
Big news. I have some important news for you.
Interesting news.
It's Blake and Darren's Spilling the Tea with Sandy.
K-Man's top news headlines of the day from CMR.
Hey, Sandy, good morning.
Good morning, Blake. How are you?
We are good. How are you doing?
Yes.
Happy Wednesday.
Yeah, happy Wednesday, Hump Day Wednesday.
Hey, today's my brother's birthday, by the way.
Oh, tell him happy birthday.
Yeah. Happy birthday, Bobby. We're all B's in the family. Brian, Bobby, Blake.
Okay. Your mom did one of those.
She did.
Nice. All right. So we have 4 men being charged in the Digicel store armed robbery. Remember this one? I forgot all about it, to be honest.
It's been a long time.
Yeah. So this was back in sometime last year, May of last year, I think it was. Yep. And they have now formally charged 4 men with conspiracy to commit robbery in relation to that event. 21, 22, 28, and 22. Whoa.
Wow. And what were they stealing?
I think they were going after money.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, they were very brazen because remember they did it right after 5:30 and there was like traffic on the road. It was a Friday. Lots of people were in the vicinity. So they were brazen. So we'll certainly keep you guys.
Would never do that in rush hour. Not a chance.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
So they had 2 masked men enter the store, each brandishing a firearm, demanded cash from the register and safe. And then they fled through the rear of the store with a quantity of cash. No shots were fired and no one was injured. And so now they've nabbed 4 of them, which means the other 2 are probably part of the getaway scheme and planning. So we'll update you.
How'd they end up finding out who it was?
We don't have those details yet, but I'm sure once the trial starts, we surely will.
Okay.
Yeah. I always say if you must commit a crime, which you shouldn't, doing it with other people is a surefire way to get caught.
100%.
Yep. People cannot hold water, as Caymanians would say. All right.
Although I think you and I could do something together. You wouldn't tell on me, would you?
Maybe an Olympic sport, but definitely not a crime.
It always starts out that way. I won't tell anybody. Will you?
Yeah, that's what they all say. I know, right?
Until you're threatened with prison time and like, yep.
You start to have a couple drinks and then Next thing you know, you forget all about it.
Yeah, they know how to put the squeeze on people.
Yes. So we have a man who was arrested, a 27-year-old man from Georgetown, arrested on suspicion of theft from a vehicle. There's been a number of these happenings. Of course, the police are encouraging everyone to be as vigilant as they can. But this man hanging out outside of a restaurant on Shedden Road, and he was also arrested on suspicion of theft in relation to a tip jar that was taken from inside the same restaurant.
Mm.
He might have done too much that day. Made himself an easy target.
Oops.
All right. So trending this morning, this story, a client, this is court now, successfully won her appeal after her attorney sexted her.
What?
Pretty wild. Jamaican lady was convicted back in 2022 of unlawful wounding after stabbing a coworker in a salon fight.
What?
The Court of Appeal actually threw out her conviction yesterday, after claiming her lawyer did not properly present her case because she declined his sexual advances.
Yeah.
Pretty wild.
Yeah, and she had proof of that?
Yeah, text messages. WhatsApp
Oh
messages.
my gosh. What are you doing as an attorney? Come on. You can't even make this stuff up.
We're going to talk about it this morning.
Wow.
Department of Environment is against 184 lot subdivision for Austin Conley Drive. So this development does not, the Department of Environment says they do not support the application by Invicta Construction Limited for 184 lot subdivision due to several possible environmental consequences. So the application of the 38 acres of land is expected to be heard on Wednesday, that's today, after being adjourned in February and referred to the National Conservation Council. And so apparently DOE has come back and said the Central Planning Authority or the Planning Department should be minded to grant, should they be minded to grant the permission, my apologies, it recommends inclusion of some conditions to minimize the impact on protected species in that primary habitat. So we'll see what they decide to do with that application. Those are some of your news headlines this morning. TikTok, U.S. passes a bill to ban TikTok if the company does not sell.
Yeah, we have a year. So if you're on the U.S. app or a platform like iTunes or whatever.
Would that impact us here in Cayman, do you think?
If your apps are U.S. based, like mine are.
Because then they just disappear from the platform.
They disappear from platform, yeah. By the way, I forgot to mention yesterday. This is just how every day is like a national whatever day.
Yeah.
So yesterday, for whatever reason, was National Nose Picking Day.
Ew.
Like who came up with that?
Oh my God. Who wants to encourage that?
And why is there a day for that? Why is there a day for that?
But I swear there is a day for everything.
There is a day.
Recently it was Siblings Day. That's pretty cool. I think that's good.
Today
there's a buck my toe day. It's like everything.
Today is, by the way, today is National Pigs in a Blanket Day, which I love. There's a little hot dogs and like a croissant type thing.
Yeah. Okay.
So good. It's also National Administrative Professionals Day. So for all you out there,
nice
that don't get a lot of credit for being the face of your company or business or doing a lot of the behind the scenes work. We appreciate you. Happy Administrative Professionals Day.
Nice. Absolutely wonderful. Congrats, everybody.
We'll see you tomorrow for the Thursday headlines.
What about my trivia questions?
What trivia question?
The Olympics.
We did it yesterday, Goof.
Oh, I thought we were going to do it every day.
Well, that was a one-time thing. But
okay. All right. Well, I was looking forward to a little trivia.
Play the music for you. There you go. Let's see if I can give you a trivia question. It's unrelated to the Olympics.
Oh.
And I see now I got to scroll through my trivia here. See there. Here's something. I got nothing.
Okay, don't worry about it. Tomorrow.
I got nothing.
All right, good stuff.
What does Wi-Fi stand for? How about that? I love this one.
Lord, I should know
the Olympics. The Olympics of acronyms right now.
I've done it before myself.
Wi-Fi. What does Wi-Fi stand for?
I can never remember.
Wireless fidelity.
Yeah.
Wireless fidelity.
I can never remember.
Wi-Fi. There you go. See you tomorrow.
All right. See you tomorrow. Oh yeah, we're gonna do a giveaway today for Capella tickets. So we're actually gonna do several tickets today because I totally forgot to do them yesterday and Monday. So we'll do 2 tickets. Morning to Leroy. Alejandra's in the house. Some people need to learn lock their car. If they break it, I understand. But when it's left open or a window down, that's all on you. Sorry, not sorry, says KK. Ooh, honey child, we're going to look at it. Yeah, KK, we're going to talk about that here in a second as well. National Pick Your Nose Day. Ew, don't pick your nose. You know what is so interesting about nose picking? Here's a little FYI, a little OMG fact. Apparently, nose picking is said to be nose picking, and you know what little kids like to do with it, is said to be healthier for them because it boosts their immune system. That is so disgusting. Anytime I see Gianna's finger too close to her nose, I'm like, what are you doing? She's like, oh, nothing. I'm like, do not pick your nose. That's disgusting. So then she tattletales on other people who do it, like other kids. She's like, well, I saw so-and-so picking their nose today. I'm like, that ain't my business. I said, you stay away from them. I'm like, don't make them touch you with their booger fingers. Oh my Lord. I guess everybody as a kid does it, but yuck. I have these OMG facts that I need to start using out of my OMG calendar. It's actually an old calendar, but the facts are still good. So I'm going to start doing these every day. Look at this one. Americans on average eat 18 acres of pizza each day. Acres, you know, cheese on peace. That's a lot of pizza. 18 acres. Wow. What a ting. Alejandra says, what? You can sex someone like that? It's called sexting. Like sex and texting put together. It's a whole new word, honey child. He's saying you can't even make this stuff up. I know. I don't know about looking good, but anyway, he needs to fix his mouth before he wants text. Oh my God, KK, behave yourself. Y'all gonna be putting time out, you know. Bermuda in the house. Paul, how are you? Where's your co-conspirator from Bermuda? He says from the Bermuda Triangle. Good morning to Miss Barbara. A little chilly in London. Oh, yes, nice. Yes, Shaka Zulu was here for it. Wireless Fidelity and knew the answer. Good morning, Miss Morna. Olive in the house. Digging for gold nuggets, says Damien. I know, right? KK laughs about the booger fingers. I'm like, ew, don't do it. I'm too grossed out easily by things like that. Oh my God. I'm so glad like she's older now. Cause you know, when kids are young, sometimes they get sick and you have to help them breathe. No, I was like, I'm not doing it. They have devices for it now that you can suction. I'm like, thank God I never had to even deal with it too much. But, you know, I'm like, oh God, you got to throw up. Don't. Hold it till you're 12 and you can help yourself. And the worst part is my husband is worse than me. So a couple times that she did have like a stomach flu or whatever and threw up. Oh, he was like, no, you got to deal with it, not me. I was like, really? I have to deal with this? This is not what I signed up for. He is like, I ain't touching no vomit. Nope. And I was like, oh, Lord. One time, I can't remember how old she was. We had to take her to the hospital because she had a really bad stomach flu and she couldn't keep anything down. And you know, there's only so much you can eat as a kid. And then there's nothing, like you just throwing up water and then you start to get dehydrated. So she was throwing up so much that we had to take her to the hospital and they admitted her for a couple of days. This was during COVID, I think. I think it was during COVID, yeah, because only one of us could stay in the room and they had all these protocols. But yeah, because that's when I found out that my stepsister Melrose was had tested positive for COVID Northside. I think she was the first Northside case. What a mess. And so I was there in the hospital, and trust me, hospital beds when you got to be sleeping on the little sofa in the pediatric ward is not fun. But she enjoyed the experience as much as you can enjoy a hospital experience. She's like, oh, I don't want to go home, because she got to sit there all day watching stuff on her iPad and just resting. And, they'd bring her apple juice and all this kind of stuff. She was like, oh, I'm in heaven right now. Bed service. She did not want to leave the hospital. I was like, girl, we got to get up out of here. This is not working for mommy. So I don't know what you're talking about. Thank the Lord. We only had to do that one time. No, sir. My spell check messing with me. It don't know what sexting is. Yeah, honey child, it's a word. Marshall says, I see you all dressed up for the office this morning. Oh, is that why you were asking if I was going to court? No, sometimes I just throw on a little jacket, honey child. Has on my little jacket and the hair is slicked back. Yep. KK says, I'm the same way with those nose parts. Ooh, trust me. YouTuber says the nasal runs can be interesting when they're congested. Huge ooze. Ooh. No. It's still breakfast time for people. We can't get into too many details. No, honey chill. And I've been trying to do my nasal irrigation, but I'm going to take out, I told you guys last year, our cousin from Tampa bought me, I think that was that it? No, he was here in August. So he brought it in August for me, and I still haven't used it yet. Like the really good one that you put on, but I haven't even unboxed it. I'm going to do that because I am taking the ENT's advice. He said twice a day. I can't manage twice a day, but I do try to do it at least once a day. And I do think it helps. So my allergy testing came back, by the way. And what I'm allergic to is dust mites and all that stuff. So it's like dust allergens. No food, it's like environmental, but mostly dust. Yeah. Jennifer, good morning. She says, happy admin professional day. That only sounds good. Well, those of you who are admin assistants out there, happy admin day. Yeah. Good luck to you. I know the feeling. Patricia Blake and Debbie, Diamond Princess is, I used to blow in one nostril and the mucus would come out through the other one. And my kids, oh my gosh, when they were small. Yeah, I can't do that. Sorry. Nope. So sorry, not me. I'm just like, put on some Vicks and just let it come out on its own. They have the baby Vicks, which is not quite as strong. KK said she never had to foot the bill. I know, right? Good morning, Miss Darlene McKenzie. Felicia Rankin in the house. Miss Hilda says, good morning, everyone. Sandy, have you forgotten about me? I've yet to receive my prize from last week. No, Hilda, I should admit, I haven't. Oh, Lord, this thing. How do I get it back out? Hold on. I haven't forgotten about you, but I have forgotten to leave it for you. And then every time I remember, I was like, oh, shoot. Hilda, do me a favor. Let me zoom this thing back out. Oh, my God. Did y'all see that? I need to stop doing whatever the symbol is. I think it's this, but I think it's like this or something. I don't know. It didn't do it just now. All right, Hilda, WhatsApp me, please, so I can remember. Because you are a cash reward, and I want to make sure you get your money, girl. That's right. Collect your dollar bills, yo. YouTuber 345, good morning. Leroy, we getting to it. Don't worry, honey chow. Dana says, I love your show. Aw, thank you, my darling. How are you? KK, Leroy, seems like a decent show today. KK's like, are we behaving today in class? No, we ain't got no behavior. Y'all ain't got no behavior, and neither do I. So we're going to get it here in a second. Dee Dee, good morning to you. Pat says that lovely salt water surrounding us is one of the best solutions for nature. I know, but how do you do it exactly? I mean, I don't want to ask the question, but I really don't know. You put your head under, but you have to breathe it in. You have to snort it in. I can't do that. See, that's the problem right there, Miss Pat. I cannot do that. I'm sorry. Ugh. I have a problem with nasal things. Like I just can't. Ugh, Lord, forgive me. I just can't. So that wouldn't do me any good because I'd be holding my breath. I wouldn't be taking it in. WhatsApp me on my personal number. Hold on, Hilda. I'm going to 324-1612. I think everybody in Cayman knows my number anyway. Hold on a second. Or the show number 936-2626. Either one would be good. But yeah, I'll get you sorted out today. The police are having a press conference this morning with the new stats. So I think I'm going to go to that. That's at 10 o'clock. They always have stuff at 10. So I'm going to see if we can leave out a little bit early, which reminds me, I'm going to check and see. We've got some content from Taste of Cayman that we can play, but I don't know how much time that's going to buy me. It's probably not going to buy me a whole lot of time. Let me see here, honey chill. Okay. Taste of Cayman recap. That is, it's a good length of time. Is that right? Okay. Yeah. All right, honey child, we can do that one. So I will leave out a little bit early. Okay. All right, let's get into it. Who's ready? Now, listen, yeah. What a hot mess. Oh my God. Take a deep dive, says Miss Pat. Let's get straight to the sexting chat. Okay, let's do it then. Negra, good morning. How are you? Waltero, good morning from the Philippines. So good to see you. Here you know. Wow. There's certain things that you just can't do anymore, folks. Sexting, as it's called, is probably one of them. If you know you're not supposed to be talking to particular people, and it's a word now, it's spelled sexting, sexting. It's when people share a sexual message and or naked or semi-naked images, videos, text messages with another person. Definitely don't ever do this with children, please, because that's against the law. You know what DPs are? You fill in the blank. DPs, pics, nude pics, same thing. Private parts. Don't do these things, folks. I have a philosophy about this, and here's my philosophy. If somebody says, send me a picture of yourself, what you need to do is say to them, if you want to see it, come and see it in person. Yeah, this is what it is. Don't give them any evidence. You know what I'm saying? Don't put it in writing. Don't be sending people no pictures. Back in the day, before sexting was really big, there was a couple episodes of this in Cayman that went viral. Do y'all remember these stories? Shall I remind you of some of these? There was a young lady, and unfortunately, the women, I feel like they always get the short end of the stick, like honest to God. And it's unfortunate because, it's normally the men who were out there propagating all of the naked photos and stuff of these poor women in videos. So there was a young lady. This is one of the first cases in Cayman that I kind of remember. And unfortunately, every time you see these people, it's always in the back of your head, like, oh man, I remember when, you think of that sexting video. In her case, it was actually just photos, as I recall. And she's connected to a high-ranking civil servant at the time. He's since retired. And it was just really, really unfortunate. So when you're looking at somebody's private parts, my thing is, I don't know. I've never seen your private parts before, so I don't know if that's you or not. Anybody can say that's your private parts. It may or may not be. What kind of tripped her up, though, is she actually had a tattoo. Yes, one of them bikini tattoos, honey chill. So there was no doubt in anybody's mind that it was her. You can't deny it when you have identifying marks, like your face is in it, or you've got tattoos in it and that sort of thing. Anyway, that was really unfortunate. I think that was one of those revenge porn things where the boyfriend was like upset that she was breaking up with him or whatever, and really wanted to destroy her reputation. And you all know Caymanians, we can talk about it for a hot minute, honey chill. That's just how it works. Such an unfortunate situation because it can be very, very devastating, obviously, for people. All right, so there was that one. There was, oh my gosh, there's been a few over the years. I remember actually taking to my social media and saying to young ladies, do not find yourself in this position. Don't do it. Don't let anybody take any pictures of you. Because once they have it, they can pretty much do anything they want with that photo. It's going to be out there forever. And you can't ever live it down, right? So there was another instance with a young lady. She was very, very young, of age, but still very, very young, like university age. And this one took place in the club. Speaking of clubs, this is when, I don't know what the club name was at the time, but this was up in the Strand. Now, those fools talking about they were having a private party. I'm like, did you have more than 5 people in there? That ain't no private party, honey child. So it was her and another girl, and they were engaging in some behavior with each other. And, you know, the men were all there for it. Of course, they were recording it. And once again, you know, that went viral and got out there. Very, very unfortunate. In fact, that poor young lady, I think she even lost a scholarship because of it, because she was like on a government scholarship or some scholarship. And, you know, once those things get out there, people, although, you know, you've got youthfulness and stupidity on your side, is an argument. You know, people are not going to give you much of a pass because they're like, wow, you've got really poor judgment, even for a young person. So there was that one. That one went viral. Then there was, oh my God, there's been a few over the years. I can't even remember them all, but there's been a few that we've talked about. So, you know, I keep telling people, just don't do it. Yeah, it's not a good idea. Anyway, there's certain professions that we were talking about this last week, right? Or the week before. Friday gone a week ago, about sexual harassment in the workplace. And it's not just in the workplace. There's certain types of relationships that you never cross that line with. We're talking about politicians. They should never cross the line with any civil servant, any quasi-civil servant. If they have a job where their paycheck is coming from governments, agencies that government have ownership and control over, if you're going to be out there philandering and whatever, I was going to say prostituting yourself, but I guess technically they're not doing that, but you know what I mean? Do not get involved. There's like categories of people that you don't get involved in. Children is an obvious category. That's immoral, unlawful, the whole 9 yards, right? But there are other categories as well that y'all don't seem to understand. Professors, do not get involved with students. And I would even go as far as saying you better be careful with other faculty as well. I would. They say don't eat where you know. It's good advice. You got to be very careful about workplace relationships in general. Don't engage in workplace relationships if the two of you are not equals. So in other words, if one person's a supervisor, a manager, an owner of the company, and the other person is a subordinate receptionist, don't do it. We talked about the airline pilots. Pilots should never, it should be in their handbook that it is against company policy for them to have relationships with anybody else who works for the airline, but especially the stewardess. But really and truly, they need to just leave their workers alone. No HR people, no, stewardess, no, I don't know who else you might be trying to add to your, what do they call it? Mile high club. Don't do it. It's just not a good idea. Doctors and patients. That's another wholesale category where I would recommend, if you're a doctor and you've got patients, that you never engage in those type of relationships. Not a good idea. Okay. Just don't do it. Not just doctors and patients, but doctors and their staff. Because, that's a whole thing. Every single nurse wants to hook up with the doctors because she's like, oh, I'm just a lowly nurse. I need somebody with some dollar bills. And, you know, one way to do it is to become the doctor's wife. Quit your job and go find something else to do and then become the doctor's wife. Not a good look. Not a good look, folks. Who else? What other categories are there? Lawyer and client. This should go without saying. But lawyers have to remain. Now, you can be friendly with your clients for sure. Sometimes lawyers represent friends, but the line you should definitely not be crossing is one of a personal, like sexual relationship. That does not bode well with anybody, especially if you are representing the person. I mean, for real. Hilda says sexting, sex tapes are a big no, right? No tapes, no videos, no photos, nothing. Damon said there's AI now. Well, they can make it up, but listen to me, honey chill. Don't you be in it. Julia says the club name was Elements. Oh, thank you. Oh, Julia, you got a good memory, honey chill. So yes, don't do it. So can you imagine a lawyer sexting you who's like representing you? You see, the problem with these types of relationships, and you get yourself in big hot water professionally. The problem with these types of relationships is there is a power dynamic where there isn't an equal relationship between the person. If you are relying on this person to get you off, and oh, Jesus Christ, let me rephrase that. Y'all forgive me. I didn't quite mean for that pun. That was not an intended pun, none at all. I meant, well, it is getting you off. I mean, it does have a double meaning, doesn't it? If you're relying on someone to get you off of your case, they shouldn't be trying to get you off in any other way. That's the problem. And so there is an inherent power dynamic between these individuals that exists, where that person, you feel like your life is in their hands, like literally. Whether you get good representation, bad representation, and if you don't understand how the system works, I could see how someone would be very, very concerned, like, oh my God, he's sexting me. If I don't respond in a particular way, does that mean that I'm going to be going to jail? I'm going to be found guilty? Because, he could just slip up on purpose, not give you the best, it's such a bad idea. I can't tell you how bad this looks. I can't believe that mature individuals would engage in this kind of behavior and not see the professional, the professional situation that they are putting themselves in. My God, it's actually shocking, and it demonstrates a lack of judgment, of good judgment on an attorney's part, that there's an expectation that they should have. That's a problem. Boundaries, says Miss Pat. Damien says, but it's still called the cockpit. Mile High Club. Yeah, y'all need to relax yourselves. So, Rough Seas doesn't understand it. He says, I don't know what's going on here. What are we talking about? You're saying two consenting adults can't hook up each other because they work with each other? If they work, pay attention, Rough Seas. If they work with, I don't recommend it really in workplaces. In most cases, it doesn't end well. People have to end up leaving their jobs and all sorts of stuff when it doesn't work out. But if they work in a company and they're not equals, there is an inherent problem with that type of situation. Anytime there's a power dynamic where one person has a more powerful position over the other person, it can easily amount to allegations of sexual misconduct and or harassment, which is exactly what happened in this case. Let's break it down for you, honey child. Let me get my little book out here with some notations on what happened. Now, I believe that this lawyer, the case was thrown out because of the sexting allegation. She won her appeal before the Court of Appeal. And now you have a situation where the judiciary will probably be taken, and this is quite unfortunate because he could lose his entire career over this. The judiciary will most likely be taking some punishment. What's the word I'm looking for? There's a word I'm looking for. It'll soon come to me, but they will probably take some disciplinary steps against this individual, and it's not likely to be anything good as far as they are concerned. Yep. This is not a good situation at all. So, let me see here now, honey child. So, Court of Appeal. So, the Court of Appeal heard this appeal case. This woman was, she was found guilty of wounding. So this was a case where she had some fight at a salon and she assaulted her coworker or someone, and then he was the lawyer representing her. So she successfully argued that his behavior towards her meant that she did not get a proper representation. Jamaican lady, Aisha Jamila English, 33 years old. She was actually sentenced to 21 months in prison. After serving 6 months last June, she appealed her sentence on the grounds of incompetence and sexual harassment by her attorney, Keith Myers. Last Friday, senior prosecutor Scott Wainwright said, while the Crown could argue that Myers did as he was instructed by his client, the Crown was not resisting the appeal because the inappropriate messages sent by Myers prove English was sexually harassed. The Crown was of the opinion, yes, that this amounted to sexual harassment. Because remember, when you appeal a conviction now, you are appealing the Crown's case against you. So when you see the Crown saying, well, actually, we're not going to really put up much of an argument here because we've seen the messages and she was being sexually harassed. So did that actually mean that she got poor representation? Well, the court said essentially it was unsafe to not assume that she didn't. So her attorney read parts of the WhatsApp conversations between Myers and her during the hearing. And needless to say, this was not a good look at all. My goodness. My goodness, I tell you. I don't even know what to say. It's just one of those things where I'm so flabbergasted that this even happened. All right. The court heard that Myers messaged the woman telling her that he missed her, to which she replied that she missed him too. She then told him that she was going to go to bed, and he replied, "Lucky man." When she asked what he meant the following day, he told her that if it had been him, he would have kissed and kissed you. Myers reportedly took the woman out for a few hours and continued texting her. Just days before the trial, the woman told Myers she was under the impression that if she didn't see him, he would not help her. That's key here, because when someone is expressing to you, you're making me uncomfortable, that's what that message means. I don't know that I'm going to get good representation from you, because if I'm not putting out, you're making me feel uncomfortable. If I'm not reciprocating these messages, then you're making me feel very uncomfortable. They might not say it as directly as that is the problem, because not everybody knows how to be just straight like that. Not everybody has that type of communication style. But the mere fact that she brought it up, any professional could see that, wow, this means that she is very uncomfortable with this situation. And it should have never happened. Now, I know Mr. Myers. I see him around court all the time. Seems like a friendly enough guy. However, as I would tell anybody the cold hard truth, I'm going to tell him that he has made a horrible, horrible it's not a mistake, to be sure. He has misstepped and made a horrible set of choices with communicating with your clients in this way. You keep all client communication, especially when it's opposite sex, or even if you're same sex and you're interested in them in that way, don't do it. Now, the problem as well here is, my understanding is what is really going to trip him up is that, by the way, the Court of Appeal said these messages are inexplicable in any form of professional conduct. So she was on bail and she was set to go free. Okay. You cannot look at your clients in a sexual way, none at all, because I'm afraid to say that what ends up happening is that you will undoubtedly cause some issues when you start to cross that line. Even in your head, you shouldn't be crossing the line. People are human beings, I suppose. At the end of the day, you might find a client attractive or whatever, but you cannot. And I would suggest, I don't know how these attorneys decide what clients to take on, but if you really can't behave yourself because your client is so sexy, honey child, you're like, oh, maybe you shouldn't even represent them any at all. That should be one of those issues. Like if you feel like you can't help yourself, like you get a rise every time you see them, sort of thing, you need to tell them, please find a new attorney. I'm conflicted. You don't got to go into no more details. You can broadly say, I'm conflicted, and you're going to have to find yourself a new attorney. Because if you cannot control yourself, something is wrong. Sending people text messages that are unprofessional and inappropriate and sexting as a professional attorney has crossed the line. Now, his biggest problem is that, as someone said, of course, this has been talked about for months in court, but we couldn't report on it because he is probably facing some very serious disciplinary action. But the problem is he supplied an affidavit. Once the investigation got underway, he would have supplied an affidavit to the court explaining what happened. Now, there comes a point in time, folks, when you have to, as the saying goes, fall on your sword. Y'all know what that means? I did it back in the day. Who's famous for falling on their swords? I think that's the Japanese. Their soldiers always falling on their sword. They like to die with honor, right? So, but we obviously don't have those types of wars anymore. So what we talk about, I think it dates back actually to Roman times, but the Japanese are very, very famous for, if they're defeated, they can't live with defeat. They're going to fall on their sword, right? But the phrase falling on your sword literally means taking responsibility for a mistake or failure, oftentimes by resigning or just accepting your punishment or your part in it. Roman soldiers used to do it, faced with defeat or dishonor. They would take their own life by falling on their sword. Had he fallen on his sword, instead of providing an affidavit that is untruthful, he might be able to continue practicing. If you provide an untruthful affidavit to the court and you are found out, that is a very, very serious offense. Let me be clear. Defendants get in front of judges and jurors every single day and lie through their teeth. Yes, they do it all the time. Jurors and judges, magistrates have to make a determination about whether or not they believe what the defendant is saying. How they're punished if they're not believed is they get a guilty verdict and off to jail you go, or you get fined or whatever. If you are a representative of the court, you're an attorney at law, my God, do I need to tell you what happens to attorneys who lie before the court? It is grounds for being disbarred. We'll have to see what professional action is ultimately taken, but I would not be surprised. This is why some of the shenanigans coming out of the DPP's office as of late, of the last couple of years, have been very, very concerning, and why we have addressed it. Because it speaks not just to what's happening within the DPP's office, but for example, let me give you all an example of something that should cause some disciplinary action. I told you guys about the current head of the DPP, yes? And the shenanigans that he's been going on with. There was high hopes for him when he first came in, but looks like he's let a few people down. He had some serious mishaps as of late. The two cases that I want to remind you of is the McKeeva Bush case and the one with the gun situation. Basically, my understanding is this. He wrote the arguments and the recommendations for how to proceed on both of these cases and said, here, just argue this. When the court found out that that was the case, the gun case in particular, they summoned him to come to court. What he did was he showed up to court without his robe and his wig. And in the grand court, you cannot have an audience with the judge if you're not in proper attire, which he, in my estimation, would have done on purpose. Why would he do that on purpose? Because I think he knew, and everybody else in that courtroom knew, that that judge was going to read him the riot act. And the judges do it all the time. Honey, child, y'all misses it. I remember a particular lawyer, worked for the AG's office at the time when I sued them in my my case. And the judge was like, she said something. And the judge said, this was a search warrant judicial review application. The judge said, she said, oh, my client instructed me to do this. The judge said, who's your client? She said, the RCIPS. He said, right. And who's the lawyer here? You or the RCIPS? Who is legally trained? You or the RCIPS? He says, your client can tell you anything. You're supposed to know better. And in fact, he said, I told you 6 months ago in a roundabout, but this is how lawyers, they don't always speak as directly. I told you in a roundabout kind of way that I questioned you. Do you even think that you have a case? And you were supposed to go back to the Attorney General and come to the conclusion on your own that you did not have a case here. There was no case to answer. And she was like, he took her from this down to this small in a matter of 2 seconds. So judges will read these attorneys the riot act. They're going to tell them what you're doing is ridiculous. So if you're head of the DPP's office and you get called in, ooh, honey child, I'm about to get read the riot act. No, sir. So what do? You don't show up so that you can be addressed by the court. If I was that judge, I would have adjourned the proceedings. I'm just saying, this is why I'm not a judge, I suppose. I would have adjourned the proceeding and said, go and come back fully robed. Because I need to address whoever presented these so-called legal arguments that are beyond flawed, misdirected. You guys decided to pursue the gun charges when you knew, again, you should have just fallen on your sword. There was no case here. The man had it out through legislation. Now, we don't like it. Of course, we don't like it. All of us wanted to see that man go to jail. Yeah? But unfortunately, if the laws are just convoluted and they're wrong and you got loopholes here, there, and everywhere, it is what it is. It happens all the time in court. Somebody finds a little bit of a loophole and they're like, oh, we got a problem. And unfortunately, the DPP seems to lack the ability to know when they should fall on their sword. I've seen it on more than one occasion. They know they can't win. Anyway, he sat in the back of the courtroom, and who he allowed to take the flack for his poor decision was this poor little Trini girl, fresh meat from Trinidad, fresh off the plane, fresh to the DPP's office, and she has since resigned. Okay, I hear more resignations coming out of that office as well. So he's not keeping no staff. And I understand that his MO now is he is, hiring only people from the other side of the pond. No more Caribbean people, because I don't know if he can manipulate them more or what the relationship is there. But y'all need to look into that. Pure slackness is absolutely right, says Siobhan. So don't be mistaken that judges don't, although sometimes there's no consequence unless somebody files a professional report. If it's really big breach, listen, the court does not like to call attorneys into disrepute because normally that's their only gig in town. They ain't got no other job that they can hold. What are we going to see them doing? Flipping burgers at Burger King? You know what I'm saying? That's it. You're a lawyer. That's your entire life's profession. And you screw that up, you're screwed. And some of these lawyers, make very decent money off of just taking legal aid cases. The government pays for them to take cases that nobody else wants. And I'm going to be honest with you. I do think Mr. Keith is one of those attorneys. Good morning, Miss Linda. So he takes all the pervs, all the child molester cases and stuff like that nobody else really wants anyway. But they say everybody's entitled to defense. And there he is taking those cases and I guess doing the best that he can with them. I would say probably 90% of his legal portfolio of cases that he takes are all sexual cases, sexual abuse, child abuse, the whole 9 yards. And I have, like I said, I have an affinity towards, it's like the old grandpa kind of, fella in court. And I've seen him operate. And I mean, sometimes I'm like, there's no way in hell this man can win this case. But, if it's a jury trial, you just never know. Because you can appeal to jurors in a way that, I don't know. Some of y'all need to do better as jurors. They need to open up the jury pool, first of all. But that's a whole other discussion. So it's unfortunate that he has been dishonest on an affidavit that was then provided to the court. So, because what this means is you basically lied to the court. There's no other way to say this. Once you provide an affidavit is a sworn statement, Listen, that's like you put in your hand on that little Bible and you saying, I swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. Except you're putting it in written form. You're swearing to the facts in that affidavit. Wow. Anyway, I don't know what to say. We'll have to see what happens next. Lord Jesus. What a hot mess. And the worst part is, you now have implicated yourself. There's a lot of people out there who are looking at this and trying to put 2 and 2 together. They may not be getting 4 exactly, but they're like, It's interesting that he represents certain clients, normally perverts, alleged perverts until they're convicted. And then what's going on here? Has his perversion of clientele rubbed off on him? I mean, this is what people are thinking. This is why there's certain things you don't do, man. Everybody's like, "Oh, you a perv too? Like, why you texting? Why are you sexting people? Like, what the hell, Grandpa? We don't expect you to be doing no emojis that are like, disgusting, but you want to kiss people and all kind of stuff. Some people ain't got no game, so the most they can say is they want to be kissing you and that kind of stuff. And the bed. It's like remember when the prince with Princess now King of England. Oh Lord, those people are so messy. Remember when he had those phone calls with Camila about he wanted to be her feminine product so he could go up her vajayjay? It was like, ew, that is so disgusting. And then it occurs to you that some people just ain't got no game, child. Like, who says that? Is that like English version of sexting? Where y'all don't really know how to be sexy? Like, what? That was disgusting. I remember back in the day hearing that. I was like, what the hell did the prince say? She was turned on by that? Oh, yes, darling. I would love to be your feminine product so I can have easy access. I'm like, what? Are you kidding me? That's just nasty. But whatever. Everybody has their own way of expressing themselves. So I don't know. Mel, good morning. Says, can you imagine studying for years, training for years, and building a career over years only to throw it away because you can't control yourself? A travesty indeed. The sad part is, all jokes aside, you can destroy your entire life with a few poor decisions. Mel, it happens every single day. And what's the saying? You're only as good as your last decision made or your last thing. You got to be careful. You have got to be so careful when you're in certain positions. When you're in the public eye, you can really screw yourself quite literally and figuratively by taking certain moves. Ed, good morning to you. Ed said, good morning, Sandy. My first time on the show. Oh, Ed, welcome. Should the Crown now not disbar this lawyer for his action? So it's not a matter for the Crown per se. I believe that here in the Cayman Islands, there is a disciplinary committee, or it falls to the Chief Justice. I'll have to verify, but it might be a matter for the Chief Justice to decide what to do. The Crown could probably make recommendations, like they'd probably submit a letter to say what their thoughts are and, if they would support an application of disciplinary action. But I do believe that ultimately that's going to be a matter for the Chief Justice to decide. But good morning, Ed, and thank you so much for joining the program. Tell us where you're from, by the way. El Rey says she being uncomfortable with her should not release her of the crime committed. Well, here is the thing, right? So I get what you're saying, and there are people who will say, she should not, what on earth is this? That she should not have responded to him. There are things that she should not have said. But again, you have to comprehend that you cannot place the burden on the individual in the relationship who's at a disadvantage. That's where, when I talk about the inequality of these relationships, you have to understand what it is that I'm actually saying, okay? When someone is on the compromised side of the relationship, they're not the one, it's a relationship of power dynamics, folks, and they're not the one in the know. She doesn't know anything about the legal system. She was probably scared. Let me tell y'all something. Even as someone who has been through it a couple of times now, it is a very intimidating situation. It's very, very intimidating to be called before the court and to have to go through that entire process. And you have representation there who's supposed to calm your nerves and prepare you for the process and, walk you through how things are going to work and whatever. So unfortunately, everybody seems to agree that he has crossed the line, and it makes for this conviction to even be unsafe. Because she didn't pursue it. She didn't, like, oh yeah, I'm going to get in bed with you. So how do you know? How can you say, El Rey, that his representation of her was not impacted? You can't safely say that. And I can tell you, in situations like this, the court will always err on the side of caution. Like, they're not going to take the chance for this to be an unsafe conviction to begin with. There's a possibility if she had better representation who wasn't obsessed with texting her or sexting her, she might have not been convicted at all even. That's how the court has to look at it, honey child. So, Diamond Princess says men like to exploit females. Well, it's unfortunately an age-old problem that continues to exist. And so once again, you have got to, be very, very cautious. It's like the RCIPS allowing a male officer to handle a female prisoner. There's a guy right now who is looking at jail time in the United States of America. Did y'all hear about this case? For raping women in his custody. So he was and I can't believe that they actually allowed this guy to transport, again, victims, or not victims, but transport women by themselves. But that's exactly what he did. He was a transport officer. And so he transported them. And during the transport, he raped a number of these women. Shocking. Absolutely shocking. So now he's looking at jail time. Trying to remember how much jail time he's looking at. He's found guilty, convicted. Prisoner transport guard sentenced to 30 years for raping inmates. You see, I don't even understand how he was allowed to be alone with these inmates in order to be able to sexually assault and rape them. That is problematic and I think it was a private prison system that he actually worked for. That's the problem. You have to create barriers that protect vulnerable individuals. Women in custody, women in general are considered a vulnerable category, but in particular, women who are in custody. And we see it all the time, the reports of police officers who will gain access to teens and young kids, right? And unfortunately, they will then exploit them and take advantage of them and sexually assault them. It is shocking. And the system has to create these barriers between victims and perpetrators, where you ensure that sick, disgusting perpetrators like this dude does not have the opportunity, the means, nor the opportunity to carry out this kind of behavior. K-Man needs to be very, very careful, because I've seen too many instances, even with myself. I had to file years ago a professional conduct complaint because they had me in a room with a single male officer, and he was the processing officer, talking about he wants to take my DNA and this, that, and the next thing. And while he was sitting there, he was making moves on me. And I could not, in the moment, as vocal of a person as I am, I was so shocked by the experience that you can't say how you're going to respond when you're when you're really in a situation. This is someone who has access to my friggin' DNA, and he's talking out of terms with me. I'm like, where's the female officer that should be in here with me? Nobody. I refuse to give him my number, although now that I think about it, he could have looked it up in the system. So what he did instead was give me his number, and as I walked out the door, I crumbled it up and threw it in the garbage and walked right out the door. Because of course, after processing, I was released on my own recognizance. But you know what that does to you from a psychological perspective? The system, the police, prisons need to ensure that people do not have access to victims. Have a look at this story.
It's never like a punishment or reasonable for a human being to be raped because they are accused of a crime.
Today, the man who was supposed to keep women safe instead found out that
Hold on one second. I'm not seeing that video. Are you guys seeing the video? Hold on. Let's try it again. Nope. Let me try to add it back. For some odd reason, it's not showing up. Okay, let's see if we can.
It's never like a punishment or reasonable for a human being to be
give me one
raped
quick
because
second.
they are accused of a crime.
Today, the man who was supposed to keep women safe instead found out that he's going to be in a federal prison for the next 30 years. Marquette Johnson admitted to raping 3 women.
Hold on, let's do a quick little refresh here because for some reason, that's not showing up. Give me 1 second.
It's never like.
Oddly enough, this is
Or reasonable
Not
for a human being to be
when you're hearing it,
raped
not-
because they are accused of a crime.
Today, the man who was supposed to keep women safe instead found out that he's going to be in a federal prison for the next 30 years. Marquette Johnson admitted to raping 3 women in his custody, one of them while passing through Bernalillo County.
But the federal investigation identified a dozen other alleged victims. Brittany Costello joins us from the federal courthouse downtown with what all she's learned here.
The judge told Johnson today he violated the public trust with people who could not protect themselves, saying there's nothing worse, before handing down the max sentence. Marquette Johnson was a prisoner transport guard working for Inmate Services Corporation. In 2019, he was using these vans to pick up and drop off inmates across the country. But First Assistant U.S. Attorney for New Mexico, Holland Castron, says he was doing a lot more than that.
Johnson was calculated. He proactively sought out and created opportunities to be alone with these women that he transported.
In December, Johnson admitted to raping 3 inmates in his custody, but investigators know of a dozen others. One woman says he threatened her with a gun. She was assaulted in 2019 near the Metropolitan Detention Center in Albuquerque after he dropped off other inmates. Attorney Laura Shower Ives represents her. We talked to her in December.
It's never like a punishment or reasonable for a human being to be raped because they are accused of a crime.
Tuesday, Johnson was back in federal court where he was sentenced to 30 years in prison.
While this sentence cannot undo the emotional and physical trauma that Mr. Johnson caused TP and these other victims, it will ensure that Johnson spends decades in prison.
But there are more questions about other victims, whether Inmate Services Corporation did enough to protect inmates, and who will hold those private companies accountable. The U.S. Attorney's Office wouldn't speak to that.
We, as well as DOJ, are exploring our options within our authorities to address and prevent the future exploitation of vulnerable victims like these.
We encourage survivors to find the courage to come forward and report these crimes to the FBI.
Brittany Costello, KOB4.
So yeah, this is shocking. It's crazy. Very, very crazy. I'm not sure why you guys weren't able to see that video. Okay. All right. Okay. says, all right. So yeah, this is, pretty shocking and unbelievable, quite frankly. What a hot mess. All right, let me read some more of your comments, folks. Let's see here. It's unbelievable. Miss Ethel Aliana says the man saw what he liked and wanted what he saw. Yeah, you can't do that. Okay. If you, again, are in certain professions, you need to be particularly careful. Yeah, I don't know what is up with that. We're updating Chrome in the background to see if that might have been it. Stephanie says it is a violation of the standard order of operations. Johan says it's their culture. Them man lyrics plus game is weak. Hence, sun and bun is rampant. What? Their hoods? I'm not so sure I even understand that. I don't know. Something is missing there. Okay, rewrite. Siobhan responds saying men are going to do what men do, ? You mean they're weak-minded? Stephanie says the guidelines should be able, in quotes, to advise. If it's a committee or board in Cayman, don't hold your breath, says Scott, in terms of accountability. Johan says, please post that alleged perv attorney picture so we can avoid that level of service. The picture's in the article. Now, I did see that Mr. Keith messaged asking for the photo to come down. I think you guys know already how this works, yes? One standard for everyone. So unfortunately, you don't get your photo taken down. I don't even know why you'd ask, because if you have listened to this program, if you have paid attention to CMR, you know that part of the reporting comes with your photo being put up. It's what it is, right? If we have your photo and we have your name, so be it. There can be no consideration for that type of request. I would suggest that you not even make it, to be quite frank and honest. I ignore those types of requests because that'll make no sense. If that's what you're after, you don't have anything to contribute to the story to say, well, here's a little different angle and whatever. Send us the affidavit that you signed so we can share that with people. Sorry for you, but your photo cannot and will not be removed. I don't even know what people think this is. I gotta tell y'all what I told Cindy. I said, Cindy, everybody has this question, but Sandy, you mean you cool, you know? If I get in trouble, you mean you're gonna put me up? I said, I tell you what, Cindy, I could do you a solid and anybody else that I'm cool with. I will do my best to find the best possible photo of you. How about that? That's the most I can do. I'll find a cute picture, and Cindy got a lot of them, honey child. So you know, you can even send me the picture if you want. I'll do my best to make you look good. But that's the best I can do. You know, send me a good looking photo. I'll make sure you're looking good, honey child. But it is what it is. The same rules apply to everybody. There's not one set of standards of, you know, this person gets treated differently because you're an attorney, you're a doctor, you're a business person, you're a politician. Nope, that's not how it works. In fact, there's some people who get a little extra dose of the cold hard truth because of who they are. Like politicians, y'all don't get no pass. When you're talking about you want to be in the political arena, honey child, well, that's a whole other ball game we talking about now. Seriously. There is a different standard, and it's a higher standard, not a lower standard. Scott says that he recently attended George's school for how to handle your female clients. Oh my God, I forgot all about George. Yeah, like, I can't believe you guys. That again is another example, Scott, of when men are just stupid. You know, you have someone that you're responsible for taking out their work permit, bringing them to the Cayman Islands, and you're after 2 minutes, after a 2-minute conversation, you're literally jumping into, oh, you need a good woman and they look so good and you'll take care of them and you'll treat them good. And don't worry, you know, we'll start you on this job and then we'll give you other jobs. Listen, I had the whole slew of messages, read it all with my own 2 eyes. And shocked is not even the word, honey child. That man is nasty for somebody he don't even know. Y'all don't even, I mean, you don't work up to the sexting hour. It's like dating. On the first date, you can't go all out with your nastiness. At least make the person believe that you kind of halfway decent. But George, whew, 5 minutes in, man, he went real dirty and nasty. I'm like, does he really think this woman is interested in him? She just wants a work permit and to be able to come to the Cayman Islands. Of course. Women, again, these are vulnerable individuals. I don't care what y'all think about this. Kind of some of y'all like, oh no, she taking advantage of him. Who in the big picture, what power dynamics does she have? What power does she have over him to take advantage of him? He is taking advantage of her. And in cultures where, unfortunately, and this happens all over the world, including right here in the Cayman Islands, in cultures where women feel like the only asset they have is their body, sometimes they have been taught from a very, very early age that that is what you're going to have to use to make it through this world. And it's so sad. We see young teens right here in Cayman, they want a new cell phone. What are they going to do? Sell themselves for a friggin' cell phone, this kind of thing. This is why we need to prioritize education in this country. And we need to teach our young people that they deserve better. They should be getting better in life, but they have to work for it, which means you need to get something in your head. Because when you have something up here, no man can step to you with any kind of cockamamie story. He can't buy you physically or sexually if you are able to make your own money. Now, to be clear, there are some intelligent women who are still out there, trying to sell themselves for a certain lifestyle. So it's not just intellectual capacity, it's also a moral compass that's important. And that's why I'm most concerned when our representatives seem to have neither, no intellectual capacity and no moral compass. And they're setting the tone and the example of what others are to do in this community. Johan said, let's be honest, if he was a native, Auntie Sandy would roast him for 3+ hours, extra time, where she goes ham. This ain't got nothing to do with him being a native and not being a native. Everybody gets the exact same treatment. The consequences, he has to take responsibility for this. And it's really unfortunate that this is probably how his career is going to end. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with that video. I did just update Chrome, so I'm going to refresh here in a second because I do have a video that we're going to play later in the show that we need to be able to see. So Aliana says, all men fear rejection. So if a man can employ himself past the barrier of rejection, ladies run because he has no morals. But then again, most women love bad men. Okay. Pat says that behavior contributes to the lack of confidence in the entity they work for. And I want to talk about this because this is where the court has to consider the damage that has been done, not just to himself and his own reputation, but undermining, and this is why the Court of Appeals would have made their decision, Your actions, your sexting has undermined the entire judiciary when you think about it. And the judiciary as a whole does not like to be called into disrepute. It is a very, very bad situation. The question remains, if he has done it with one client, how many others? There's a bigger question mark out there. How many others might this have also happened to? Some men are taking liberties a little bit too much so with people, and you stand back and you go, if he did it with her, somebody you don't even know. This is what I'm telling y'all. Y'all get too comfortable with people you don't even know. You start to blabber at the mouth and have conversations with. Well, there are probably other people out there who've just never come forward. I hate to say it, but it's probably true. Siobhan says majority of men just weak-minded. 30 years should have gotten life. Women out there, you could pay for that. Instead, he goes and does that. Hope he has his rounds in jail. Keep your darn pants up. Yeah, I mean, raping women in custody is, like I said, it's just unbelievable. Ms. Hilda responding to Alejandro. I don't know what Alejandro said. Oh, he said they should have sex-specific jobs nowadays. What? When I was going to school, girls sat on one side of the bus and boys sat on the other. Sex-specific jobs? I believe it should be separate buses. Oh, you think that that's going to solve the problem? Huh. Yeah. I mean, there are situations where, again, to protect the victim, you have to, vulnerable people, I should say, before they become victims, emergency staff. We've had complaints here about some EMT personnel. One, he's off to jail now for molesting a child. Someone came forward and said, Sandy, I had an incident with him where he was my porter or whatever, and he was a little bit too touchy-feely in the emergency room bay. So you have to ensure, nothing wrong with male nurses, but they should not be left alone with patients where they can have the opportunity to do anything untowards. Hilda says, Alejandro, that says a lot about some men who feel entitled to behave in that manner. Women should be free to work wherever they're qualified to, without the fear of men who can't control their impulses. And I agree, Hilda. What are you going to say? That only lawyers should be females and they can only represent females? And, where does it end? It just comes down to personal accountability. And so the system has to hold people accountable, as well as they themselves should be holding themselves accountable. Good morning, caller.
Morning, Sandy.
Morning, my dear.
Boy, I hear you beating up the world of men today, man.
Not really, The only men that need to be concerned today are the perverts, sexting people and raping
100%.
people.
No, but I love how you call them out and you keep on doing that, but I don't want you to make the world do these things when the men do these things, because you have women who are just as narcissistic as men. Because I know it was big in the news years ago where the teacher was grooming a 7-year-old boy, and when he became 12, she got pregnant by him.
Mm-hmm.
He even went to jail too. Two of them that I know about. And I know of, I have the facts of people who were in jail, men who were in jail, and women prison officers getting pregnant, And the reason why men crimes aren't really reported is because we're going to report it till they get laugh at you. Because me personally, I have been groped. And if I grew up the woman in the way that I have been groped, I would have been in jail a long time. And it's not something that I call on myself either,
Yeah,
I was
no,
in a
listen,
club,
and I don't want...
And they come and grab me in my private parts.
Oh, my God.
Hey,
no,
come on.
No.
So women, that's why I'm making all service to be called out.
Exactly. And I don't
all
want this to...
It's a sickness, they need help. It's a sickness, they all need help.
Yeah. And let me be very, very clear. Women can be perpetrators, and we've talked about some of them here on this program before. But at the same time, the majority of perpetrators still are men. It doesn't exclude women. It does not exclude women. And if you listen to what I said earlier, I said, even if you're a woman, you shouldn't be having these types of conversations with other women. You might be a lesbian or whatever, but that doesn't give you a pass that you can have these types of conversations with other...
it shouldn't. It shouldn't.
Yeah.
It shouldn't. And Mr. Keith, I really feel very sorry for him, because back in the day, in my time, he was a lawyer at one of my cases, and
Mhm.
I know his son, I know the family very well, and you know what I mean. This is over 40 years that he's been practicing that I know about, and
Yeah.
boy, maybe he made other mistakes that nobody knew about, but this
Well,
one kind of crushed him.
This is a thing
Crushed
now.
him.
It calls everything into question, doesn't it?
Yeah, but it does. It's like a doctor who does a malpractice. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
They can call everything into question to say every surgery that he ever did. So you know what I mean? So yeah, it's sad, but it has to be called out. It has to be. Like,
Yeah.
but also you hear anything more about this guy, the one that wanted to run in the Easter time there, that for molesting the young girl? Because I kind
Yes,
of interested in that case because I know the
after
person.
Easter, he turned himself in, so he is in
And he died there.
he is in police custody.
So no court cases for him or?
Yeah. No. He's I'm trying to remember if
want
they
to keep on that
charged
one
him
or no?
yet. I think they have charged him with I'll have to have a look, but I think he has been charged with a couple counts of rape.
Well, that one I
Yeah.
want you to keep your hand on, right? I
Yeah.
want you to keep your hand on and keep my ears in tune because I listen out to that from you. I want to hear you really bang that one home.
Yes.
On me,
Sometimes we
that
have to
was
be
appalling.
careful ahead of any legal proceedings because, of course, he's been charged with 2 counts of rape as of April the 5th. So we reported on that. But we have to be careful because if he has a jury trial, his lawyer is going to jump up and argue that, oh, yeah, CMR was blazing him up and this and that. So he can't get a fair trial. So
you speak what's in the news.
Yeah, we got to
what's in the
step
news.
very, very cautiously. Let him have his day in court, and then we can light his behind.
Yeah, man, because I want to hear that because, as I said, he was a friend of mine too, you know what I mean?
Oh,
so I
geez,
want to
and
really
peace.
call it. Yeah, man. He really hurt me. And
Disgusting.
I want you to call it out.
Yeah,
I want you to call it out. I want to know everything what's going on.
When the facts come out
Justice
during
must
the
be served.
trial on that one, I think you're going to be very, very surprised at how he was grooming that little girl.
Yeah, man, justice needs no, but this is why he's finding out. No,
Yeah.
so justice needs to be served. I have a daughter too, you know what I mean?
Yes.
And this person was around my daughter too, but not in
Jesus
that
Christ.
way. Not in that way.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
It's like it's just like how we gotta take everything into question when these professionals get out of hand. I took everything in hand, every encounter that I can remember that my daughter was around him, that to say, well, did he look at her funny way or did he have a conversation with her that I don't know about?
It calls everything into question.
People.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So that's why I want you to call that out, you know what I mean? But I want you to know, you know what I mean?
Yes. Thank you so
All right,
much.
thank you, Sandra.
All right, my dear. Yes, this is the this is the problem. Once someone has breached your trust, and these are matters of trust, to be clear, you will always find that everything that they have done, you do question. You're like, how is this possible? It's a hot mess of a situation. Very, very sad, man. I oh my God, that just made my skin crawl when that guy said that this guy would have been around his daughter as well. Wow, what a hot mess. So to be clear, we don't have any desire to treat people differently when it comes to offenses, especially offenses of any sort of a sexual nature. Yes, everybody gets treated the same, as far as I'm concerned. Nobody gets any special treatment. I don't care who they are. You guys have heard me go as far as even talking about, family members and stuff who are perverts and pedophiles and the like. And it is what it is. I don't favor them because they happen to be a cousin. In fact, I think we should be so much more cautious with family members because the evidence has shown that the people who are more likely to molest your children are people known to you, people who you entrust your children with, family members, stepfathers, uncles, the grandfathers, step grandfathers, people marrying into the family, people who are blood relatives, cousins, younger cousins, older cousins. You have got to be very, very careful who you expose your children to, and don't feel comfortable with anybody just because they are quote unquote family. Mm-hmm. So the court has issued a directive in relation to someone. Now, I can't tell you who it is, but I want to read it to you, because there will be times when we do not oh, sorry. I think I've did I just close off my own tab? All right. So I want to be very, very clear here, folks. Yep, I sure did. Look at this. Oh my gosh. Give me 1 second here. I think we just lost our feed for a quick second. Give me a second. Let me get back on Bobo with a quick commercial break. Honey chill. Yep. Radio dropped. All right, let's bring it back. Give me 1 second here. Yes.
Do you own a 1996 to 2016 Honda vehicle? There is an ongoing urgent safety recall regarding faulty Takata airbag inflators in Honda vehicles in the Cayman Islands. As affected vehicles get older, a combination of high temperatures and humidity can affect airbag inflators with the fault. If you're involved in a collision, the airbag can go off with too much explosive force, causing sharp metal fragments to shoot out and kill or seriously injure people in the vehicle. To check whether your vehicle is affected, go to HondaCayman.com/recalls. Honda will replace any defective airbag inflators completely free of charge. Contact the Car City service team to arrange this. Please take the time to check if your vehicle is affected by this urgent safety recall by going to HondaCayman.com/recalls now.
All right, folks. Thank you. Chrome restarted. My apologies. It just restarted itself because it just updated. Not a problem. All right. So somebody said I would take offense if a man grabs me, and that wouldn't end well. But a woman? ? Well, no. Let me be very, very clear here. We have to be very, very cautious about these discussions, because I know it's funny. Sometimes for men to think that they can't be sexually harassed, they can't be sexually assaulted, all this kind of stuff. But let me assure you, you can be. Maybe you've never experienced it and you've never happened, and you might be thinking to yourself, well, I wouldn't mind it if a woman come and grab my parts and whatever. But not everybody feels that way, and no woman should go around feeling like she gets a pass just because she's a woman. And she can just grab people whenever she feels like it. I can't, as the caller rightfully said, you don't get a pass just because you're a man, and you don't get a pass just because you're a woman. It has to be, the law has to be equally applied, right? And that's just how it is. So let me caution anybody who thinks that because somebody is a woman or a man or whatever, or like I said, a certain position, that we're not going to call them out. So they're just poking fun. I'm aware, but there are actually some people who think that way. They think, well, I ain't got no problem with it if it's a woman. Now, if it's a man, you can't touch me. Let's be very, very careful, how we have these conversations in our community. Okay? Now, I was actually saying, I didn't realize that Chrome had restarted, but I was actually saying that there are times when we don't actually give as much information about an individual. And the reason, there might be a very, very logical reason for that. I know some of y'all be up in your feelings, like, oh, Sandy didn't say who this person is, and blah, blah, blah. Oh yeah, she must have known them, a friend of hers. And I said, let me tell you something. No friend, no family member, nobody gets a pass. Right? I don't know when it cut off, but I was saying that, in fact, my position is this: family members are your most likely perpetrators. Yes, they are the people who you need to worry about the most. This is not a question of, am I being fair, unfair, my comments? This is factual information I'm giving you all. It has happened time and time and time again within families. So what that means is the people closest to you, the people that you trust with your children, are the ones who have access to your children and are more likely to do your children harm. Youth groups, pastors, coaches, right? Anybody who has freer access to your children, those are the ones you need to keep the biggest eyes on. Stranger danger is a bit of a misnomer. The danger comes from the people that you know and trust the most. Isn't that sad? So keep your eyes out. I can't tell you the countless stories I've heard of the church pastor who's done something to children, the cousins in the family who've done something to children, the uncles taking children out on boats and for car rides. Oh, I'll take her for ice cream. Protect your children at all costs. Huh? Some of y'all get up in your feelings. Oh, but it's like, sometimes I chuckle, because it's like, I don't know what to make of some of your comments. That's why I don't really take them on board. Oh, I wouldn't want to be your family because you be blazing them up. And if I didn't, you would have something to say too. So sometimes you just need to jip it, throw that key away, and just sit back and relax and pay attention. That we call everybody out equally. Family, no family, it really don't matter. If the cap fit, you're going to wear that cap, honey child. The glove is going to fit. We're not going to be around here pretending like the glove does not fit you. Okay? So, let's be very, very clear. You ever find yourself on the wrong side of the law, especially when it comes to these types of offenses, don't message me. Don't be asking me no questions about taking down no photo, no story, no nothing. Just keep it moving. We had a comment here. There's another case of grave concern. And a man found guilty of sexually assaulting stepdaughter. Now, a lot of the court cases, I'm not the person who's actually covering them or writing them necessarily. And I wasn't in this case. I just see it when it goes up on the website, just like the rest of you. And so this individual is not named. And so I've now had a chat with our staff, and I've made it very, very clear. This is the approach that we take, folks. If it comes to naming the victim versus not naming the victim, my apologies, naming the perpetrator versus putting in certain details, I would prefer for them to name the perpetrator. Because our elected officials refuse. That's the only logical conclusion that we can come to now. They have refused to put in place a sex offenders registry. So by them refusing to put in place a sex offenders registry, we have a job, okay, as reporters in this community, as activists in this community, to let you all know who these perpetrators are. There's no law, generally speaking, against exposing who they are. I'm going to show you an exception this morning. But in this case, what we could have done, and like I said, I've spoken to staff, we could have written this article very differently. There is no need in my mind to say that she is the stepdaughter. If it comes down to this, we have two choices: naming the perpetrator or putting in certain identifying information, such as the stepdaughter. Drop the stepdaughter and anything else that could potentially identify the victim, and name the perpetrator. Y'all need to know who these people are. This man walking around Cayman Brack for 16 years, has a home there, a member of your community, and some of you may still not, as small as Cayman Brack is, a lot of you may still not know who this man is. I am most concerned with you all protecting your children. I I'm not here to protect no perpetrator. That ain't my business. I don't care about him. Once you decide to cross the line with somebody's child and you ruin their life, well, all bets are off, honey child. You deserve to have your life ruined as far as I'm concerned. So this person on Facebook, I don't know who I'ma get you is, but they made a bit of a misstep in their comments talking about a Caymanian man, well, that's supposed to be man, who was charged with sexual assault, ... There, fixed it. And some of y'all fools like in the post. So let me clarify that I confirm that he not no Caymanian. But it would not matter if he was. Wake up, people. It doesn't matter who the person is. Doesn't matter if they're Caymanian, Jamaican, or whatever. But you see, some of y'all so caught up in your feelings all the time. Oh, you know, they only say it's a Jamaican. They never report. That's ridiculous. Whatever information we get, we don't always have all of those details. This man just happens to be a Jamaican. We didn't say he was a Jamaican in the article, did we? But since I'ma get you is so concerned about making this an issue, as though we have some kind of prejudice in our reporting, let me be very, very clear that you actually got it wrong, honey child. In this instance, you don't know what you're talking about because he happens to not be a Caymanian. So you're telling us, oh, there, fix it. What are we fixing it for if you're not Caymanian? You need to fix it. Stop trying to make these issues Caymanian versus Jamaican versus Filipino versus the man from Mars. It ain't got nothing to do with any of those things. Right? Perverts run the gamut across all nationalities, all professions, all sectors of life. Some are professionals, lawyers, doctors, accountants. Others are construction workers, church pastors. Anybody can be a perpetrator, just like really anyone could also be a victim. Free your mind from the ridiculousness of this type of conversation. Because yes, we will take the time to correct you. Okay? So here we have another situation where a man has taken advantage of a young girl. I mean, you can imagine having a perpetrator in your home, what that must be like. His 15-year-old stepdaughter found guilty in a judge-only trial. He's going to be sentenced in June. He was charged with assault by penetration, gross indecency, engaging in sexual activity in the presence of a child, and abuse of trust. Of course, he denied the allegations, stating that the child was antagonistic towards him. In handing down the verdict on Friday, Justice Richards said that she found the child to be a credible witness, speaking the truth about what the defendant did to her. She was quoted in this article saying, this was not a child making up a story, noting that some of the horrific details of what the child recalled, including being able to describe the man's penis. The child also recalled the man masturbating in front of her and ejaculating on her slippers, causing her to vomit. He needs to be hung by his gonads. He repeatedly assaulted the child when she stopped at home after school before heading to her mother's workplace. The child's principal reported noticing a change in her behavior at school and asked her what was wrong, and the child told the principal that her father had assaulted her, and the matter was reported to the police. Wow. Folks, be vigilant, be vigilant, be vigilant. Someone that you trust, someone that you marry, right, could do this to your own flesh and blood. But I'm telling you that a lot of these men are just so no good that they do it to their own flesh and blood, much less yours, much less a child that not for them. I got to be honest with you. I feel bad for single mothers out there because, you know, you're trying to work and do your thing, but I would be inclined to never get married again and have no man up in my house, especially if I have a daughter. I mean, you gotta be careful with boys too, honey chill. I'm sorry, but we can date and you can take me out, but you're not coming up in my house and having no unfeathered access to my child. No, bobo. That not gonna work. But of course, people try to move on with their lives. They try to have adult relationships, and you trust these people to not do these things to your children. It's horrific. The breach of trust is tremendous when it is someone like this, someone in your household. Remember the uncle that we were talking about with that little girl the girl came to visit? And the aunt is like, oh, it'd be good if she could come here to Cayman from Jamaica for opportunities. And what does he do? He takes the opportunity to rape the girl. My God. Some wicked people out there. Trust and believe me. Ay. We need to have the resources to throw the book at these people. But prevention is better than cure. This is what I'm telling y'all. Be very, very careful with your children. Stephanie says, I have a pair of boxing gloves, but anybody that even thinks about touching my boys, Siobhan, so if I had kids, it would be more than a pair of boxing gloves, but I definitely get it. Stephanie says, do you know what a pair of Cayman boxing gloves consist of? Two conch shells. Yes, sir. Anthony, good morning. Anthony says, what's going on with the case with Clifton Hunter, employee, and his daughter's case? Nothing more is heard. Is he back to work? Is he in the court system? Has he been charged? We need to know to keep our kids safe. So I, in fact, haven't heard any further updates with this. I'm assuming the police have not yet said that they've charged him. So I'm assuming that that matter is still being investigated. Sometimes it takes a minute. Now, of course, sadly, in this case, I should say, and we don't know, but the allegation, and it seems very firm, is that he has molested more than one child close to him. And it was reported to the mother, and because of her drug addiction and her lifestyle that she's now out there living, she did not pay her children any mind when they told her that this man was molesting them. Faded Mary Jean, good morning, says the fact that women leave men to watch their daughters is just wild. Leaving them with boyfriends, uncle, cousins is just crazy. I could and would never. I'm not built that way. Some women, if they had 10 boyfriends a year, all 10 of them will be alone with their child. Just crazy. Some women are, they claim they're just trying to live their life and they can't do it alone and they need the support and this and that. But yeah, they're slack. And that gives nobody an excuse, though. Let me be very, very clear. Just because you're entrusted with a child does not mean that you should breach that trust and take advantage of that child. But yes, it happens. And sometimes it happens far too often. Siobhan says there are too many fools around the place. It's not just about waking up. People need to stop supporting disgusting behavior. It doesn't matter where you come from. You do a crime. It doesn't matter where you come from. Out them. People need to stop with the nationality wars or whatever the BS is. Some people should worry about what the person did, not where they come from. People are disgusting from all walks of life. Yeah. Sometimes when you hear the details of these cases, it's a balancing act between reporting certain things and so that people are aware, and it's hard to report on these stories. I can tell you, it's hard to listen to them. It's hard to read the court file. Even this situation with this guy, the caller who called in, what he did to this 11-year-old child, it's disgusting. Y'all, your stomach would churn if you knew the details. Trust me. It's really, really something. Oh, it gives me, I have a headache now. Oh God, I need to find some headache tablets. Oh, talk the truth, sis, says Dominique. Fada Jean says, I beg, if ever I rebuke this comment, my child come and tell a teacher that someone touched her. Please call me first, not the police. Me? Vanessa says, I was a single mother. I protected my daughter until now. She's 21 years old. And Dominic says they're opportunists, and that they are. And you know, some of these guys purposely seek out single women. I know of a guy who always did that. And I've always wondered, he's now married to one. And I've always found that a little bit weird because, you know, the dating pool in Cayman is, you know, it is what it is. But when you see guys who only want to date single mothers with girls, that makes me a little bit weary. Like maybe I'm reading too much into it and, you know, whatever, but I find that in and of itself is like a red flag. And this is somebody I know, and I was like, why every one of your girlfriends gotta be a single mother, yo? Like that's a little bit weird. You can't find a single girl in all of Cayman? Come on now. I mean, he would pick them young, old, whatever, and they were all single mothers with like young girls. I'm thinking, why? You got 2 children of your own. You're looking to be a stepfather that bad to somebody else's child? I don't know. That makes me uncomfortable. Siobhan says, hey, I'm going to need to step away for a bit, having PTSD and feel a panic attack coming on. Be back shortly. I'm very sorry if we have triggered you or anybody else this morning. Good morning, caller.
Yeah, morning, Sunday.
Morning.
You know, it really is confusing to me. If I wondering if these people are like sober-minded when they're doing these actions, because you can assume that they're older people, right? They're people that are probably above 50 or 60 years old, maybe. I'm not sure. But sometimes you have to wonder if they're under the influence of certain medications that they be taking prescribed by doctors or something like that. Think about it. Like I would love to know a person that is or was in their right mind, sober-minded, to do such things, because you have to wonder the influence in demonic spirits and stuff like this. Like, boy, Sandy, to even think about killing somebody, you know, you have everybody has this intrusive thoughts. And then when you make your intrusive thoughts win, I guess, I don't know what causes that. I've never felt for my intrusive thoughts. So I don't know how would someone be influenced to fall for theirs. You know, it got to be some sort of influence into it, just to think about that, because you in your right mind know that is wrong. And if you're going to do it anyways, because maybe pleasure, I guess it's an addiction, I guess it's a problem, but it got to be some sort of influence there. That can't come in naturally just by eating sugar and proteins and all them type of things. I don't know.
Well, I mean, I don't know how to explain it for sure. All I know is that, you know, I can't blame it on medication or anything else. I just think that these people are sick. You know, when I say sick, I don't mean medically sick. I mean, you know, they, you know.
Even for the adrenaline rush, you know, sometimes it could just be fear that fly them into that situation too, you know. I'm not saying that if I were afraid, I'd probably do something like that. But I do know that they have some people that would just like submit into a aggressive act because they can't defend themselves, maybe. You know, you heard of those things, right? But for the person to be the aggressor to do such things, boy, you just gotta wonder if it's all sober-minded people or if they're all influenced by some, you know, drug or antidote. I don't know. It just seems like a spell, yo. It seems like witchcraft. This thing seems like it's just not normal. This is not human being, at least. You know. Think about that, but it's just some weird people in this world. Weird people. We can have weird conversations all day about these type of things.
All right, caller. Thank you so much. Yes, 936-2626. I don't know. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know what to say. It's just it is difficult to understand. You know, I do understand Aliano's confusion to a certain extent, for sure, because I think all of us are like, why do people do this, right? I don't know that I understand. I can't understand the why. And I think if you understand the why, there's probably something wrong with you. And if you've never acted on those impulses, please get yourself some professional help. So Amjad said they should be hung in the middle of Georgetown. Johan says any father that objects to anybody, especially the male friend, boyfriend, new husband, looking after the kids, which I get, they should prioritize being the primary male figure and commit to look after the kids, especially their daughters, instead of just talking about it or complaining. Do it, be present. Yeah, like I said, it's difficult for single mothers in particular, or any single parent, even single fathers, I suppose, because, you know, you need the support. Like I understand that. You need the tag team of having two parents. Everybody needs a break. You know, I know when we had our daughter, sometimes my husband be like, oh God, oh, Sandy, I got to tap out, man. Give me a couple hours just to take a break. You know, you all have that fatigue, that parenting and parental fatigue. As they get older and they're a little bit more independent, you know, it might be a little bit easier to say, hey, honey, go take a book and read it. But you know, kids of a particular age, they're not going to do that for long because their attention span very, very short. Here they come again. You can't take a nap. You can't do nothing without them killing the dog, burning down the house, something. So you have to be on it 24/7. And when you're a working parent, that's even more difficult. You know, so it's helpful to have an extra pair of hands. And I do understand that. I think you just got to be careful whose hands we're talking about here. Alejandro says, we wonder if this is sober-minded behavior because who in their right mind? I'm trying to know. Jamila says, so why he can't be named and the court have his name big and bold with his charges. So let me be very, very clear. He could have been named, and I've spoken to our writers here at CMR, and I have said he should have been named. Just don't say it's his stepdaughter, because then you run the risk of identifying the victim, which is the only thing that the court is normally concerned about, except, I'm going to show you an example of where the court will put an embargo in place where we're not permitted, to say certain things. So this was received yesterday. And I'm not going to tell you all what case this is in reference to, obviously, but there is a particular case out there, folks, where the defendant has active matters and he also has other things coming up. So there's a real risk if we continue to name him in proceedings. There's a real risk of him, quote unquote, receiving an unfair trial. So because there are multiple cases going on here, the court, the justice, in this case, Justice Carter, has issued, and this is what they do, practice direction, right? That you cannot publish, report of, or comment on the proceedings either in a written publication available to the public or by broadcast on radio or otherwise, shall reveal the name, address, or image of the defendant or include any particulars calculated to lead to the identification of the defendant or in respect of whom these proceedings are about. And this order remain in place until further notice of the court. Now, let me be very clear. It doesn't take a brain surgeon if you wanted to really know. Courts are open. You know, you can go and sit down in a court and watch any proceeding that you want. So if you want to know who this was about, all you have to do is show up to the courthouse and go in there and sit down. Go look at the cause list that's published for the public to see. The court can't stop you from doing that. However, because they recognize that media has a much wider reach, really, and something that is published means thousands of people will see it that never would ever go to court, there are times when they put reporting restrictions in place, as with this case, because this individual has additional charges and cases and stuff coming up, and they're saying they don't want to prejudice him in this case or any future cases for that matter. So you just have to wait, and you have to give it time. Okay? We can report on the proceedings, we can report on the facts, So sometimes when y'all sit back and you wonder why CMR isn't naming someone or why we're taking a certain approach or whatever, this is why. There might be a restriction in place. Generally speaking, our position is if the person can be named, they will be and they should be named. All right. Faded Mary Jean. Yes, there's so many horrific stories out there. That, you know, it's a sad state of affairs, quite frankly. All right, folks. So I'm gonna skedoodle out of here. I do have I'm gonna go and hear what the police have to say, honey chill. What I can say to you is we try to support all of the government agencies, even the RCIPS. And at the end of the day, we have to assist them with getting their messaging out there. We know that the leadership of this government has taken a very particular approach. We're going to rise above their pettiness and still help, because you know the civil servants, the government departments, whatever, they want help with the messaging and they know where to come to get it out there. And so sometimes they're torn, like, oh, we know Julie don't want us to come on your show, but you know, where else are we going to go to get our messaging out there? Y'all don't worry about her. She'll be fine. She'll be just fine. I assure you of that. If nothing else, I'm sure she will be just fine. Okay. She's going to be skirting her way into heaven on that glorious chariot one day. In the meantime, the rest of us who have to live in the real world, and you have your events and things and your initiatives that you need out there, we will do our part. We're going to be professionals about it. Okay. So the police have a press conference this morning about crime stats. I think what we will do is we will record it for you all with a view to then airing it during the show, as opposed to just streaming it live on social media. That way, all of our listeners, including our radio listeners, will have the benefit of having access to that. That sounds fair? Okay, honey child. So for the next hour, we're going to play Taste of Cayman recap. If you missed the event, you missed a really lovely time, unfortunately for you. And so I'm going to show you some of what you missed. I spent a lot of time in the Cultural Center, which was sponsored by the Ministry of, I think, Heritage. I don't even know. But that was a really nice time. And so enjoy yourself. I loved the folk singers. Big shout out to the Cayman Islands folk singers. They did a phenomenal performance, a phenomenal job. And they had the soldier crab races. So we tried to capture as much of it as possible. So please, folks, sit back and enjoy. Oh my God. Wow.
Mexican fried chicken agave way.
What makes it Mexican?
It's a seasoning, so it's a mixed blend of chilies.
Oh my God, look at that.
And then we've got a homemade chili hot sauce and a habanero sauce for it as well.
I don't know if I can take all that heat, but this looks amazing.
Yeah, that's not too hot though.
Okay. Look at that, folks. That looks absolutely amazing. And these are some of the fresh ingredients you're using?
Yes.
Love it. Gorgeous. All right, so folks,
Let us know how you like it.
This is the agave. They won Best Booth last year. So, yeah. Beautiful. How are you feeling this year? You feeling good?
Yeah, we're feeling really good. It's a nice turnout. Not as hot as last year.
Yeah. Awesome.
Looking forward to this every year.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. Oh my God, looks amazing. looks amazing. Oh my God.
You came last year also, right?
Yes. I'll be back. I'm making my first round.
Enjoy.
That looks amazing.
Thank you.
Wow, look at that. That's a big pot. How are you?
Excellent. How are you?
Good. What is this?
This is the seafood risotto.
Oh my God, it looks and smells amazing. Seafood risotto. Beautiful.
There we go. And beyond. The company exists to bring the people of Cayman Islands folk music works to the highest possible artistic and technical standards and production values. Their works are both reflective of their Caymanian image and appreciative of the Caymanians' place in the Caribbean. The songs of Aunt Julia Hides, we call her Aunt Julia, comprise a significant portion of the company's repertoire and are complemented with songs from countries around the region, including Jamaica, Belize, and Guyana. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the Cayman Islands folk singers.
Nice. Beautiful.
People were here to learn about some beef in the back. Y'all got some? Yeah? So what we gonna sing now? About beef. This mostly happening in Georgetown area. Yeah. They call it beef and king. Beef. Yeah. Let's sing it for them. Five of us was going uphill when we saw that beady go live. We went over there, nothing could be seen but window with the butcher knife. The cow wasn't really dead, but before he went ahead, the first thing he did was cut off the head and cut this road with a knife. Shopping your butcher knife, shopping your butcher knife. Just get this, get this, shopping your butcher knife.
Sometimes with the old cowhead, he's so like we nearly dead. He said to me, what you have like lead, but tomorrow I'll eat your bread. Listen to me now, boys, I'll tell you how it goes. Up with the rock and he hit the cow. And he knocked her down in the road. Shopping you go tonight, boys. Shopping you go tonight. Boys, sleeping, drink this, sleeping, drink this. Shopping you go tonight. He was somewhere he had it so he said to me, boys, look, I come here, we walk outside. He brought out the news, thought Mr. Roy would get confused. And Roy said, I would go to the jail. And Dan said, I'll tell you the tale. Shopping you go tonight, boys, shopping you go tonight. Shopping you go tonight. Shopping you go tonight. Shopping you go tonight.
Check this out. Yeah. Work. I'm a technician, I better start working with these mics now, because we want these mics to work so you can hear what we say. Alright, this next song we're going to sing, everybody here I think don't have cholesterol, right? So if you don't have cholesterol, that means that you can eat rice and beans. So this song we're going to sing now is about rice and beans. If you know it, sing with us. If you don't know it, learn it. There we go.
For 20 in gold, but when we got Cuba, we found we were sold. Rice and beans, beans and rice, we got it in one spot, we'll never be tired. Good and on you perfect the road, you carried us to Cuba to work on the road. Rice and beans, beans and rice, we got when we work what was not in vain. It was meant to be unless under our socks, and the way up to the road is to wrap up big box. Rice and beans, beans and rice, we got it in one spot, we'll never be tired. We came in a hurry, we came in a rush, but the best of what was that Cuban one bush. Rice and beans and rice, we got it in one spot, we'll never be tired. Rice and beans and rice, we got it in one spot, we'll never be tired. Rice and beans and rice, we got it in one spot, we'll never be tired.
Tomorrow now I want to hear you kids saying rice and beans, beans and rice. Mommy, I want rice and beans. Now this song was Cayman's most two favorite cakes. Every cake, but what kind?
Cassava cake.
Cassava and what else? Yum! This song over the yum. Yeah? No. I don't think this with any music, so we'll do this a cappella. So you should be able to learn this real fast. So when you're baking the yam cakes, you can sing that song along, yeah? Let me go.
This is the son of God. Take a young and then cut off his head and bury sit down in a deep, deep hole in a nice soft garden bed. And when the yam begins to sprout, just hoe it with a hoe. The rain and the dew and the sunshine too will help the yam to grow, grow, grow. Will help the yam to grow. And when a year has passed away, the vine will wither and dry. And two by two, the seeds appear, for harvest time is nigh. Take a machete and dig the yam and put a piece unto boil.
When it's time to suck, we will eat it up
with a good reward for toil, toil, toil. With a good reward for toil. This is the song of the
This one is a brand new song for us, and what I want your part to do. This song is about years ago, before my time. There was a lot walks in Cayman. Mosquitoes! Yeah. So this song was about mosquitoes. So every time you hear the word say mosquito, I want you to stop. Alright? Because we know the amount of time they're gonna come up. So let's start killing them from now with this song. Yeah? There we go.
Sitting alone by the smokehouse, I watch mosquitoes fly. I keep thinking of you when not here, while they sing their song on high. Bing, 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 I am coming. Bing, 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 I shall bite. Just keep on smoke going, or a minute to jump tonight. Someone not happy, mosquitoes make me sore. For everyone I kill, I find a million more. If you were here beside me, I don't think I should care. For you to kill mosquitoes and still caress me there. Sometimes when they're so dreadful, I wish that you were now in a dear little cozy corner, screaming just you and I. While people on the outside, they sing their big, big song. Why should we care, my darling? They be singing all night long. Some men unhappy, for mosquitoes make me sore. For everyone I kill, I find a million more. If you were here beside me, I don't think I should care. For you would kill mosquitoes and still caress me there. And some man not happy, for mosquitoes make me sore. For everyone I kill, I find a million more. If you are here beside me, I don't think I should care. For you could kill mosquitoes and still caress me there. For you could kill
The next time I have a barbecue, my yard come get all of them come help the mosquitoes, because I'm doing very well. Yeah. Okay, now this song is, I know everybody here knows that one. I'm not going to ask you to guess it. I'm going to tell you what it is. This song is Manzabo, but there's a dance with it. And that dance is what I want you all to look at and learn that dance. Okay? Alright. So we're going to do the dance out here because it's not enough stage hold me. So we're going to have to come down here to do the dance. So we'll start up here and me and my other partner can move down here. So, kids we want trouble do, we'll just stay here, okay? Alright. There we go. Audience, sing along with us, because I know you know the song, okay? So you all think it's just me gonna do it? I want somebody to come forward and do that dance. Come on, you can do it for me. Two couples, come. There's an accordion. I checked the camera. Nobody want to do it, right? Okay, this is our final song. well known again. Chip Up Potato.
Chip Up Potato.
Please sing along with us on this final song.
You know that one.
I don't remember.
You don't remember it?
It's
easy.
Singer said you ought to eat barren, you get poisoned. It's sweet. Turn you up too. Alright, so don't tell them folks singers say that. Alright, good. Thank you guys. Thank you very
Walk back, make your mind for me, mind for me. Girl, come wine for me. Sit, when you beside you. I know it's easy, but I make it look so easy. You got the recommendation, you going on vacation, you already know the program. You were only told, you say it's a monster, why sit up on start, but we on the way. We lining up, ready to charge ahead. Forward is not enough, I want you to jump.
Gentlemen, give it one more round of applause for Radiance Down.
Wow, look at this. You're so fast. It's amazing. Wow. Yes. I'm always so fascinated by this. Oh my gosh, you're so fast.
Brown baskets, you'd appreciate brown baskets.
Yes.
It's not the fancy decorative stuff. It's
Yeah.
kind of like the, utilitarian type stuff. It always works.
Yep.
Almost ready for
Absolutely gorgeous.
11 string.
11 strings?
Why is it called 11 string?
Okay.
All times, 11 strings here.
Yeah.
You should know what to do. The side is 6, the leading side, okay?
Yep.
1, 2,
okay.
4, 5 string. 4, 5 string. 4 times.
I'm gonna come interview for my Cayman voices, and then you can teach me how to do a little bit.
Okay. 1 under.
Yeah.
2 over. 1 under. Pull. That gives
you have to keep it tight.
Keep it tight. Also follows a specific pattern. Okay. On this side, you see all the way through.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm handicapped slightly, but by being handicapped, it fits perfectly. Look.
Yeah.
There's no problem turning it. And when I'm ready,
your handicap is an advantage.
Slight handicap, yeah, very slight. When I finish at 6:20,
yeah.
I'm gonna cut the stuff up and ball up. And guess what? Look what happens. It's perfect.
Gorgeous.
It's perfect. See?
Absolutely gorgeous. Very nice.
This is what I've done since 5:30.
Nice. So the dancers are getting ready to go on as well.
This particular plot you can reuse multiple baskets or hats, sewing hats. But of course, this is not the decorative stuff. Decorative stuff is going to use any kind of baskets. This plot you can reuse. Well, not this one. A shorter one, a wider one, a narrower one you can use for hats.
All right, so we're gonna check out now all the contestants. I did not enter. I kept thinking about it. We have the Cayman style beat. I'm good. How are you? Oh, nice.
No, you can't get away with that.
Delicious. Look at that, folks. Wow. Very generous portions too.
Because I'm not taking any of those.
I'm coming back. Oh, yummy. It's good? Oh my God. Yum. Pepper. Yummy. Really? Looking good. Hi, how are you? Hi, how are you?
Very well, thank you. You want to try
Ooh la la.
Very nice.
I'll be back for samples. Hi, how are you? Good. All right, people getting samples. That's the Cayman style beef competition. And then over here we have cassava cake. Hello. Go right ahead. Heavy cake. What is this one?
Have a cake, have a cake.
Okay.
Help yourself. Let us know.
I'm coming back.
Yes, it's a competition.
Nice. Oh my God. Look at that, folks. Isn't that delicious? Wow. Look at that. Beautiful. Gorgeous. Absolutely love it. All right. Nice. Wow. Hello. How are you? Ooh la la. Nice.
With the breadfruit, I put it in a little bit of water with a little bit of butter and allspice and salt.
After I'm done recording, I'm coming back.
What I do is give people a fork and they can eat it on spot. Would you like a fork? So you don't have to get a plate.
I'm gonna eat when I'm done. Trust me.
Yes, please. I'll say
I need to.
There's coconut broth.
Yes. Oh my God, those are amazing.
Yeah. No, they're all good. This is cassava cake. Yes.
Nice.
Thank you.
Beautiful. Hello. How are you? I know somebody in the UK gonna be happy to see you. Beautiful cassava cake. Yummy. Absolutely gorgeous. All right, we are getting ready for the dancers. Hi. Hey, go look at the soldier crabs racing. Soldier crab racing. Yeah, go through here. This way. Hey, how are you? All right. Good. Oh yeah. Hi, girls. How are you? We're good. Oh, I'm excited to see what you guys are gonna be doing. You ready? No pressure. No pressure.
Applause, please. All right, Mr. Ray Banker, you ready? You ready for the soldier crab race?
Huh?
If you guys have never ever seen a soldier crab race, you need to come and take a look. Just take,
all right, we're here for it. We're here for it.
Left side of the pavilion, or left of the right of the stage to my left, which is the right of the stage. If you're facing it. Now we're gonna have a soldier crab race right now. So Ray? Yes. You ready? Yes. All right, I'm coming. Everybody, you're looking to see how to make a soldier crab race. Let's figure it out. Mr. Ray Banker is a part of the Cayman Islands Traditional Arts Council, and that exists to promote and celebrate and to continue to pass down our Cayman heritage. One of those things is soldier crab racing. So Ray Banker, hi, how you doing?
Good, good. It's not much better than what we normally do, soldier crab.
What you normally do, eat it?
Ask Gigi if she wants to see the soldier crabs racing.
I don't eat no soldier crab.
Oh. Okay, we'll come over to the cultural booth when you're done.
If you crack the shell, you'll find out that the body of the soldier crab is actually like a soft, kind of like a drug-like texture. Thank you. And so they need a shell to cover it. And their favorite shell is the root shell. And they're not born with it, so they have to find it. And sometimes whenever they smell the seafood or anything like you put a fish or something like that, you'll come across a lot of soldier crabs at night, especially. They don't like the day as much because of the heat. And what they do? But they fight, sometimes they fight with the shells. And what do you want to tell me?
I want you to tell me how it starts. So what do you do? We're going to do a race. Now, thank you for all of that. That was good information. I was just listening. But if we wanted to do a race right now, how would we do it? Do we get some participants? Anybody want to be a racer?
Yeah, you pick one, but you gotta get a circular track. We don't know where they're going. Actually, most of them are going. Looks like they're going to the same way. They don't want to go to that same way.
They like this young man right here.
Yes.
You're volunteer today?
So today is good. I was supposed to cut a volunteer, but I never got one.
I think we're all over.
Oh!
So much happening in the
He's off.
Look at him. Volunteer? Come on over to Stacey Patrick, who's been supernatural.
Come on, hey!
Islands. Come on over. This is Miss Jessie. Are you a Braca? No, that's not wrong. Come on over. Ladies and gentlemen, give Miss Jessie Patrick a round of applause. I think we need more than one contestant though. Let's get another person. Anybody else want to be a part of this race? You want all of our queens to be a part of it?
Yeah, get a different color. So we got different colors because
okay. So the shells are typically painted a different color, and that is so we can.
Or we number them.
Hey girl, how are you? Good.
After politicians.
Today we have colors.
Today we have colors. So we got like blue, orange, bronze, white, and then nude.
Nude. Okay, so he just regular check. Okay, so you need to choose one. We need five contestants. So we have 1, 2. We have Cayman's Universal Beauty Girls here from 2023. So I don't know your name. Can you tell me your name? Satari. Zaraya and oh, we have Miss Liani Tibbetts right in front of me. Miss Cayman's World, or Miss World Cayman's. Do you want to be a part of this? Just so we got all of our pageant queens want to get their hands dirty today. Alright, so Miss Liani Tibbetts, if you haven't heard, has just returned this couple weeks ago from the Miss World pageant. So she's joining us today. I hope you all get an opportunity to take some photos with these lovely ladies.
Do you want to choose one? Just right. So you got blue, orange. Just write down the first letter, the color.
The color that you want to win.
I'll hold it.
Okay, what's the next one? Okay, so you gotta get the orange.
Just put over.
Okay, so what happens now? So we have our contestants chosen. They've chosen their shells. What are we doing?
So we're just gonna let them go and see which way they go. So we got circle the track because we don't know where they go, left or right.
Okay, so
like
once they get
once they get off the edges, that's the winner. Then we go second, third,
All right, so let's see what happens.
All right.
Usually, starting the race.
You ready?
And they're off. Yeah.
So when you go to the beach next time, see if you see other tracks like that, you know what you're looking for. That's silver's not doing too good.
Yay! Oh my gosh, this one's coming in first.
Bronze winners! Who's bronze? That's you. You just won.
I came second. All
right, so Ray came second, and who's third? Who's about to go?
We have a.
And no, orange is coming
That's
forward.
silver is just sleeping.
Oh no, that's you blue. Okay, so you won. You got second. Oh, you won. I'm confused.
We have a theory about silver.
The silver is just, he's just on vacation. Yeah.
He's retired.
Exactly. He's like, forget it. I'm not moving.
All right, so let's do it again. Let's do one more. So can we have a few more contestants? Let's switch them out. Let's get a few more. If you've already played,
he's definitely not moving.
More people in here. Does anyone else want to play? Someone else wants to play?
He is definitely not moving. Silver is checked out already.
Silver has checked out.
All right, so we need 4 or 5 people to play. Ray couldn't play with you, but let's call it competitions. We need some competitors.
We got dancers coming up next.
2 people can choose the same soldier crab, I guess. I didn't know that. Okay, so we're gonna clean off the board and we can start again. So of course you can see which direction they're going. So who wants to play? You gonna play? So we have 1 contestant, 2 contestants.
All right, up next is the cultural booth. Can't miss this for sure. I think the kids are going to be singing here shortly. Hello, Mr. Pirate. How are you?
Not too bad. How are you doing?
Good. Good to see you. Nice. Ooh, I hear the blowing of the horn. Hey, you, what's up? How are you? Hey, Mama, how you doing? Good. Where's your other half?
She stayed behind. She got a doctor's appointment, but she's
coming. Nice. So this is the cultural booth, folks. We're gonna go check this out. Cayman folk singers. Ooh, nice. Hello. How are you? Beautiful. All right. Yes. All right, let's go into this booth, folks, and check it out. Some dancers over there. I'm gonna go over there. He was just telling me how good the cassava cake is.
How long?
Oh my gosh. What time does the racing start? When do you start with the race? Anytime? Okay, I'm gonna let them know. Beautiful. Hey, how are you? Good.
When you talk about
All right, so of course, one of the best areas is the kids section. Lots of fun activities for them to do here. So let's go ahead and check this out a little bit. This is Kids Zone from 5 to 7. They've got everything from face painting, sensory play, crafts, games. Spider-Man and Cinderella are going to be rolling through. So let's go ahead and just have a quick look at this. Hi, how are you guys? Awesome. The big camera, Look at that. Nice. Pretty awesome. All right, so look at the kids playing Jenga and stuff. They're having so much fun. Oh my goodness. Tons of fun. I want to be in the kids zone. Aww. Like this painting section. Ooh, Cayman cat boat. Look at that. That is so awesome. Wow. That looks really good. Oh my goodness, that is so pretty.
What you want? Are these?
Ooh la la. Oh my gosh. They're having lots of fun. Ooh, what is this? Beans and corn. Oh. Nice. Gorgeous. Hi, how are you? Oh, this looks like so much fun.
This is our nature play.
Okay. Beautiful. Wow. So you're using pastas and beans.
All kinds of food. So we did a nature-based play today. Farm to table theme today.
Yeah.
So it's all farm food products, and then the goal is to just let them run wild and build whatever they want.
Whatever they want. Wow. That's pretty cool. Thank you. Very fun. Oh my goodness. So much fun. All right, that's Kids Zone. Oh, of course, you gotta love the face painting. Hi. Oh my goodness. I wonder if they'll paint my face for me.
Do you like football? Okay. Football or starfish?
All right, folks, so we are here at Taste of Cayman already. Taking in the scenes. This is the VIP section. Oh my God, just had some ribs from the Ritz, one of their restaurants. Amazing. I was literally licking the bone. They were good all the way down to the bone. So I like to come out here early because, you know, this is when you bring the kids. We're gonna go over to the face painting section. Hey, Jose! I'm gonna say hi to Jose here in a second. But yep, of course, 106 is here. The guys are at Magic.
I'm seeing you guys for 8.
Everybody's here. So come on out. Check out the place. Lots of food. Remember, this is Cayman's premier food and beverage, because you got wine, you got sodas, you got juices, everything. Festival. Thousands of people will come through here tonight.
Okay.
And of course, it's just an amazing time. So you don't want to miss it. Just getting started. My favorite local station, Magic 91.5. Take it away, Magic. Take it away. Part of the BMS team, of course, the Hot 106 also here. Oh yeah, I love these little circular photo booth things. They're so much fun. But yeah, come on out. We're gonna be here. Having a good time, and I hope that you guys will as well. The venue is amazing. If you missed Black Eyed Peas last night, you missed an amazing time. So what can I tell you? Definitely don't miss tonight. Hello.
I'm taking care of Gigi and another one.
All right.
So I got 2 kids with me today.
Okay.